guys, how's it going? This is David Sebastian, coordinator of Mentoring Arts Programming with Wayside. I am back with you once again to do more artwork. I hope you guys had a good 3-day weekend. My kids are on school vacation this week, so no vacation for me. But I hope things are going well. Things are going kind of okay over here, and I'm glad to be back. Today we're going to work on something new. We're going to go back to working on our sea truck and finishing up our leather over the next week. But today we're going to work on a quick Frankenstein stencil and see if we can make something real quick out of it. This is once again using the silhouette and Photoshop to set up, design, lay out our stencils, and then we'll use the silhouette cameo to cut them. If that takes too long, we'll cheat over to the side where we start working on the side of our Cheetos truck again. Things have been going really good with the Cheetos truck. We're basically like, I don't know, maybe 9/10 of the way through working on it. Let me see if I can show you the picture. Too far. Maybe I cannot. Oh, there we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So this is how far we are on the driver's side. This is Chester Cheetah on a motorcycle doing a jump with Cheesy Rider. Only problem was I feel like I should have used the Easy Rider font. Like the same as they used in the movie. So I'm going to wipe this out and paint it again using the Cheesy Rider font. I think that's going to be really cool, and I think it'll make a big difference, And then we're starting to close in. I'm going to do some orange pinstriping on the entire truck just to, add something. Might make some more tiny stickers. I was thinking about maybe a couple of grilled cheese stickers, but in the design of hot rods. So that's where we are with that. So we're going to go back to that, but today we're going to try something a little bit different. I've got a new camera set up, and we're going to kind of jump over onto to that camera and work on our first setup, which is in Photoshop. And we'll run that through really quick and send that over to the silhouette to cut. And then if we have enough time, we'll spray that out. We might have to stop a little bit early tonight because today is my wife's birthday. Happy birthday. So I might have to end a little bit early. So I am with you guys until then. All right. Cool. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump to the other camera and Photoshop so that I can show you guys kind of what, how we're going to do it and then do it. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right, you guys. I don't want to freak you guys out having my the live stream right here. So we will move that. All right. So the first image we're working with is the Bride of Frankenstein. I've always loved all of the Universal monsters. I think they're just amazing. And I've always wanted to do some work with them, but I've never gotten a chance. These days I'm sort of working with a lot of pop culture kind of stuff, which is a fun difference for me as opposed to just doing my own monsters. Sorry about that. All right, so here we are in Photoshop. This is our first piece that we're going to work with. This is a free stencil, basically, that I found online. Works fine, though. I think it's going to be totally cool. All right, so for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Magic Wand tool, which is W for wand on the keyboard. Select the black here, hold Shift, and select any other of the black that we want to keep, right, which is most of it. Really all I'm doing here is trying to get rid of anything that isn't white, right, because we need just the black pieces are what we're going to cut out. Right, so you select everything that's black in there, probably get a little closer. Good to get close and see what you've missed. Like I missed your nose and eyes. All right. A little bit of thin lines up here and stuff. I don't think we need those. You know what I mean? So then now that we've done that, this is the navigator tool, by the way. Really, really cool slider. Or big mountains, little mountains. So what we're going to do right now is first we're going to do Command Shift I, which is select inverse, and then we're going to delete that because we don't need anything except the black lines that we need, right? So then we deselect, and now we have basically good to go stencil, right? Now they've deliberately made this a little bumpy on the edges and stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. I could do this, and now we don't have it. A few remnants here and there. Oh, somebody's coming. Oh, look, it's Maul. Hi, Maul. How's it going?
Good.
What are you up to?
Nothing.
Say hi, Maul, to everybody. Maul helped me go shopping at Lowe's. And if anybody's ever gone to Home Depot, Lowe's, home improvement stores, you know that it's a living nightmare. We were able to get in and out for just $200, which I was very impressed. I think it was Maul's influence. What do you know who this lady is?
Is that your mom?
That is my mom. That's the bride of Frankenstein, Maul. Alright, so here's a good Frankenstein one I found. A couple Frankenstein ones. Another Bride of Frankenstein. Whoa, and all this other junk. So here's the cheesy rider I was talking about that I'm going to use instead on the truck. And here's another stencil that I just wanted to whip off real quick. Why's your fingers right there?
No.
Everybody know who this is? This is Reagan from The Exorcist.
Oh, that's creepy.
Right? I love it. She's possessed by the devil.
No, Mom.
No, she is. It's a scary movie. Oh, more people are coming.
What do you mean more people?
Can hear people walking around in the living room.
I think that's his Rosie.
Could be. Oh, yeah.
No, it's not.
This one's a good scary one, right? Yeah. It's always fun to have Maul stop by because, you know, I love talking to you guys, but it's really a lot like talking to no one. Nobody ever answers me, you know, I'm just kind of alone out here, talking about whatever I want,
You're always alone.
which is not necessarily a good thing, you know.
You're
What do you
always-
think, Maul? We got enough parts of it?
Yeah.
All right. Do you know what you do now? You select everything but that, which is Command-Shift-I on the keyboard. So now everything except what we want. And then we hit delete. So now it's only the stencil. Look.
Work.
Looks like we lost something. Oops. Just flashing. So we want to go back a little bit.
Can they see your screen?
Yes. So see, it looks like we lose something.
How do you make them see your screen?
It's all part of the software over there.
Oh yeah, they can see your screen.
Maybe we should keep this dot here.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I can't get that one. Oh, that's because we're on inverse. We need just a little bit of her, the scary part of her eyes here. Alright. So now we can do the same thing again, Command-Shift-I, which is select inverse and delete it. And now we got Reagan ready to stencil as well. Really scary and weird looking, actually. I like it.
Really scary and mean looking, actually. I like it.
Alright, let's go on to the next one. Got our Bride of Frankenstein. So now which one are we going to use? This one? This one.
that one. What?
Oh, nothing. Just
You have 8 subscribers. Wow. One's Carly, one's Mom.
yeah.
One's your cousin. Your cousin-in-law.
This is totally ridiculous, guys. That you guys should definitely not be seeing what I'm doing right now.
What one is it?
Just switching my music.
8 views. So that means 8 views. That means all your subscribers saw this.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
There you go. People are looking. You guys watching me right now?
And 4.
Let's go in here and.
Wow, you have so many playlists.
There we go. Why don't we go in here for a second and just pick up a Karloff.
Daddy, people are gonna say, "Wow, he has no videos," and then they're gonna go and play this and be like, "Never mind."
Right, I just made all those playlists because that's like a bunch of my artwork grouped together, and then I'm going to take each playlist and make a live stream out of it.
Mhm. Yeah, you joined January 10th.
Huh?
You joined. Oh, Dad, 363 views.
All right, so now we're in here. We're just looking for a regular picture of Frankenstein. You know, like this is the super famous picture of Frankenstein that everybody would use. What I wanted to show you guys is quickly how we go from a photograph of Karloff to a stencil, which is really just a couple of steps, actually. This is the one we have loaded in there right now. Oh, some of these are pretty cool. You know, like this one's really cool. I don't know if I'll find anything looking for this, but we see. I like multiple piece stencils. Maybe we'll make one.
Daddy, can I hang out here and paint whatever this thing is? Because I haven't finished painting.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go wash my paintbrush.
Alright. Oh, look at that one. That's really cool. It's like an impressionistic painting of Frankenstein. It's kind of fun. Maybe we'll use this one. This one looks pretty good, except of course that one's already, someone's done most of the work to it. So I just want to see if we can get one that's more traditional. Just a Karloff picture. Oh yeah, the full body shot. Gotta love that one. Not a ton to use as a stencil there. Maybe we could combine these. I don't know. Seems like that one might not work.
Back. Is it okay if I stay out here, guys? I
Mom's
forgot my
gonna
rock.
stay here with us, so hope that's okay with you guys. So many classic Karloff images.
I forgot what I'm painting on now.
Just gotta find one that really careful.
I am being careful and being tired. These 2 colors and then these 2 things.
Man, I like the idea of a full body shot. I just don't think we can get his head to work. Look at how great that is.
That looks cool.
Alright. great stuff in here.
Sorry?
Classic stuff.
What do you mean classic stuff?
Oh, I'm looking at a bunch of pictures from the movies back in the 1930s
What?
when movies were really cool.
They still are. You don't even watch movies.
Different
anymore.
kind of. This is a different kind. Really a different kind of movie, I think.
I think you would think maybe movies are way better if you actually watched them.
That's possible, Mom.
Did you never watch
All right,
them?
let's. So we're gonna kind of. I think we're gonna hold off on using this one, although good backup. If we can't get something else. Right. This one is also pretty easy, you know. All we do is use our magic wand tool, selecting everything but the black. Shift select I, delete. Now we've got nothing except our stencil. A little bit of stuff we'd have to subtract actually. So we do this. Apparently I rushed it a little bit.
What do you mean rushed it?
I thought I could just select this with one click, and it turns out it's going to take a couple more clicks. Alright. This is more like an action pose of, actually that's much easier. Deselect, let's do this. Shift select inverse. Oh, that's the same thing we did. Alright, shift select inverse again. Pretty good. I'm gonna go back to this one.
So, Dad,
Yes.
later today, can we do that tattoo kit thing?
Maybe.
I wonder how old the people that watch your videos,
I
how
don't
old
know.
they are.
Just get rid of some of these tabs. It seems like we have too many of.
I think they have to be patient, because who would want to... I mean, some people aren't patient. And they... Like, some people... I think the people that watch your videos are patient since they're 2 hours long. Wonder why your work makes you do videos that are 2 hours.
Something I wanted to do.
You wanted to make them 2 hours? Why?
It was fun.
I hope the people that watch your videos think it's fun.
Well, if they're watching, they must think it's kind of fun.
I think some people...
Alright.
Some people just watch their videos for a little bit, not the whole thing, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too.
That's okay, it's their opinion. If they don't like some videos of yours...
They get bored of hanging out with me, but that's okay, right? You guys hanging out with me, right? You guys like me? Alright, first thing we got to do now that we have, this is a really great image of Frankenstein, so we're going to try to make this one work. If not, we'll default back to one of the ones that we just made. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to image mode, and we're going to switch from RGB to grayscale. And we say, yes, discard the color information. Now this is a black and white image, so it did not discard very much.
What does
image,
discard
so
mean?
So the next thing we do,
Daddy, what is this going?
throw away.
Oh.
Right, so the next thing we do is we go in here to adjustments and we say posterize. And what posterize does, it reduces the levels of color that we're working with from an unlimited number of colors, even within the context of black and white, to just a few. And you can decide anything you want from 4, to an endless number of colors, honestly, which would not make any sense since you just decided you wanted it to be less colors. But this is also like an indexed coloring, like where it's giving you a level with a certain color on it. So here we're going to make it 3. And you see with 3, we have some pretty clear isolation. There's white, black, and this one gray, right? So that's what we want. So hit enter, and this is what we have, right? So now we're going to use our magic wand tool that we've already used a number of times. And we're going to select all the black, which is pretty easy with one click, actually. And we're going to cut all that black, which is Command X. It is Command, right? Command X. So that cuts all the black. But you see we missed some. So we got to go back in here, which is Command Z. Add in the black that we missed. Which is not a ton, just a couple.
Guys, if everybody's screaming in the background, just because the kids are playing Fortnite. And
What'd you say, hon?
If they ever hear screaming in the background, it's because Mac is playing Fortnite, which makes him scream.
Right on.
All the time.
Alright, so now we cut that. Look, and we still missed a little bit. Kind of just have to keep messing around until you get everything you think you need. Helps, I suppose, to get a bit closer to his face, too. We can see some of the stuff that we missed. Here you can see the anti-aliasing and how really close we are so that we're blowing out the pixels. So now if we say cut, it seems like we did pretty good. Just got this one piece right here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now we do a new layer, Command Shift N. And we do Command Shift V, which is paste special, paste in place. And now we have our black, right? So now we back off a little so that we can see what we're working with here. Now we just select all of our whites. Kind of a scary looking whites here, right? Like Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger?
Yep. He's
Who's
a scary
that?
monster guy.
Did they make movies?
Yeah.
Imagine if he's a dad,
Oh.
and then his kids are like, and scared of him. That's kind
I've met him actually, the actor.
He really
His
has.
name is Robert Englund. Anybody out there a Freddy fan? One of the first pieces of artwork I did once I started doing this sort of pop kind of artwork that I'm doing now was Freddy Krueger.
Really?
Not my favorite slasher movie guy, but probably number 2.
Hmm.
Favorite one being Jason.
Jason.
Yeah.
Aren't they the same guys?
No, he's in the movie Friday the 13th, and Freddy is in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
I'm sure everyone's heard of all those. So now that we have the white selected, right, we're going to do the same thing as we're going to cut the white, leaving, in theory, just our gray, right? Command Shift N is a new layer. This one I'm going to call white, W-H-T.
So I'm going to call it white.
And we do Command Shift V, paste special, paste in place, and then we turn it off. Now all we have left on this last layer, theoretically, is gray. We did miss 2 pieces of white here. So let's go down here real quick, grab them. Looks like that's it. Cut them. Go up to our white layer. Command Shift B. And now everything. Command E is blend down. So now everybody that's white is on our white layer. Everybody that's gray is on our gray layer, and everybody that's black is on our black layer. All right, everybody digging it? Everybody understand?
This
I
is
don't
like
understand.
school.
You sure you don't understand?
This is like school.
Now, one thing that we can do that's kind of cool is that we can turn white off, right? Because the piece of paper is going to be white, right? So that means we could get away with only cutting 2 stencils, and one of them is this one that has a really small amount of detail on it, right? It's really just the edge of his arm there.
It has detail or no detail?
There's not much detail in this stencil now because of how we reduced it. See, so like that's all there is. Say hi, Mom.
Hello. I'm on the other side. I'm over here. I'm on the other side of him. Not anymore.
Fortunately, it looks like this gray is kind of crappy. Let's try something. Let's go in here right now. Actually, we can try to posterize again. This time we do just 2. Still seems to have 3 actually.
Daddy, I wonder if people know me from TikTok. That'd be funny.
This one's pretty much good to go. You know, we got Reagan good to go. So if things don't work out with Frank or these guys, we'll try to go the other way. Let's take a look at this one. This one doesn't look bad, except there's some pretty complicated cuts going into these locations through here. Let's see what Silhouette Studio thinks. This one we will call actually, let's create a new folder. Call it Frankenstein.
What else would you
And
call
in
it?
there we'll call this one
Frankenstein.
alright. Wanna look for something real quick?
I will be right back, Daddy.
Alright. Mom's is suggesting she's gonna return to us. Oh, I know what that is. That's not what I thought it would be at all. So there is, looks like. Nah, it doesn't look like I have any of those. So, yeah. So let's see what happens if we throw this into Silhouette Studio, like I was saying. Go back to Design. Let's open up a new one, Command N. This time we're going to go with the full-size cutting mat. We're going to go with 12 by 12. We're working right now with Michael's brand Clear Acetate. It is a great product. It's about $1 a 12 by 12 sheet. We'll be able to make probably all of our stencils on one sheet here. So you guys have to check it out. It's really cool. I really dig it. So now we got our size set up, and now you just do Command O and open, right? And so where we were last was in here. Grab this, right? bring it out a little. Want to have about an inch around stencils as much as you can. This piece is relatively large. Looks like we got something like about 6 by 4, 6 by 5. Actually, tell us we selected 4.7 by 6.4. You can go up here and lock it down if you want to, or you could go over here and just say, you know, I want it to be 4 wide, easy enough to work with. Undo, because it doesn't make any sense to have it be disoriented. If you throw the click and hit 4, the lock and hit 4, it's just going to make the whole piece a bit smaller. So 4 inches by 5 inches, little small, but pretty much a workout. So think about this entire background is our stencil material. So we have a lot of room to work with. And you know, one of the things we have to do to make this work is to trace it, because the Silhouette doesn't read regular images; it reads a trace. So you can select this, drag this out, right? And this will tell us what it's going to cut. That actually looks like really awesome. I'll just make sure we get it all in there. I like it. I think we should do it a little bit bigger than 4 by 6. 4 by 6 is not huge, right? That's 4 right there. Well, I don't know, 4 by 6. I think that'll probably work. So we'll say, you know, trace outer edge, trace. What are we going to do? We just say trace. Once we trace it, we can pull this guy over here, and our trace is there and ready to go. All right. Now the only thing I always try to make sure of is that everything isn't different pieces. That one looks to be fine. Next thing I'm going to do is open again. And this time we're going to go to our downloads folder. Well, actually no, right? We want to go to our desktop. And here to our icons. So we wanted this. Go. So we want to, you know, do the same.
I'm back.
Mom's back, yay! And then we drag this out. And we see what we got there. That looks pretty cool. And we say trace, because that was pretty much what we needed it to do. So that one looks pretty good, but we got a little bit too much edge stuff going on. We got to punch up our threshold a little to soften out some of those dots and make them solid. Although, then we're getting more dots other places. Maybe we should do this. All right. Eraser tool here. Unfortunately, I'm no fan of this eraser tool. It'd be easier probably to go back in Photoshop and cut it again in there. Well, I guess that kind of worked out okay. Let's try our trace area again, now that we've gotten rid of that. Yeah, that looks a little better. Oh. Looks like we did something wrong just there, since it did not trace. Causing some choking.
Then with the heart.
Oh, look at how nice that looks. Cool.
It's a flag.
Cool. The Hogwarts flag?
No, regular United States flag.
Alright. Got a pretty nice trace there. It's a little crazy up top, but looks alright. So we're going to just go in here real quick and take a look at it.
Look at him, you did that.
Don't like so much all this bumpiness up here. So we go in up here and we erase some of that stuff.
again in 5 minutes.
All right, Maul. Maul's leaving us again. She doesn't care about us, you guys. All right. It's just some like bubbles and stuff, you know, like I don't care for that. Plus the cutter has to work so much harder to get like these weird little bumpy shapes where, and they don't help me much, you know, like this isn't a legitimate area where we can get any stenciling. You know, like this is just silly. And it creates a problem when it comes to weeding the stencil too, when you have these like, you know, micro cuts, then, you know, they compromise some of the area, you know, that we want to stay together. Some, like these dots in her eyes, you know, we kind of need those. That looks pretty good. So now we just hit this key here, and we get it swung back out. Now we go back over here, and we grab this. Whoops. See, this is one of the things that's a risk. Drag and select. Now every single piece is a separate piece. We just hit Command G or group, and then we can copy, or how about cut? And we go over here to this guy, and we say paste. And we drag it over. Same thing, we want it to be about an inch from each other, about an inch from the edge. That looks pretty good. Right? So then we go over again, get rid of that one. We don't need to save a blank layer. So we just say open. What was the other one we wanted to do? Oh yeah, it's this one. All right. I think we should have done that in Photoshop first. Is this the one right now that we're working on? No, a little different. Deselect, open. I don't know why it keeps going back here. Same thing we've been doing, right? So we just want to make sure we get everything that's this gray color selected. Actually, let's try this. Can switch from the magic wand tool to the quick selection tool, and that guy works pretty good for some larger selections like that one. Same up here. Now it just says, alright, I get it. You want to get rid of this stuff. Now we want to go back to the magic wand tool, which is Shift W. See, it goes through a few tools there. Make sure you're selecting as opposed to deselecting. So option is our deselect tool. Like you see this white line here. We need to deselect. Let's get in a little closer. Oops. that looks pretty good. So then we can use our navigator to zoom back out a little bit. Looks like we did miss a spot over here. A little jawline action. Going to Shift W. Nope, that didn't work out. There we go. Looks pretty good. Alright. Now that we got everything selected that we want in him, do a shift select inverse, and we get rid of it. Select, take a look at it. Stencil wise, it looks pretty good. Only thing is, we want to basically make sure we're looking at the same effect as last time. This time we want to do 3 or even 2. Okay. So now everything that's this color, well, there's no specific need to do this, but I wanted to do it so that I could see a little more clearly what the silhouette was going to cut before I sent it there, and sort of found out the hard way, as they say. Also, I want to cut down on how many like little tiny cuts they're going to be, you know, like you need to have as few cuts as possible for a lot of reasons, but number one would be so your stencil holds together. Know what I mean? Alright, I think that looks like it. Oh. On the tedious side sometimes, but I like it. I think that it helps. It's cool. Helps us make some interesting stuff. Alright, that looks pretty good. Like that's what our what the cutter will look at. Just want to get in here and get our eraser a little smaller, get our image a little bigger, just so we can get rid of some of this extraneous small detail stuff going on here. What we don't want it to do is to read information that isn't that important, you know what I mean? Because again, the more cuts you do, the more difficult it is to get the stencil to hold together. Like this line right here, we could leave it, but we want it to be super deliberate, right? So I'm going to go with like a 4. I want to just get in here, thick. Would be it. Alright, so jump back out. Cool. Alright, so the next thing that we want to do, now that we adjusted a couple of the stencils, is we want to save this guy. Command Shift S, save him as, let's just go ahead and save him as a JPEG. We'll call this guy just one sec, guys. Sometimes the band you listen to gets away from you. Right? I feel like this is very rude, guys. I apologize. Alright. There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to there we go. We're going to attach our stencil material here. This is a new stencil I just made with Cheesy Rider on it. Something I wanted to do real quick here is just throw a little bit of spray mount on here. I hate the smell of spray mount, but I also hate stuff not sticking to this. And it's been shifting a little bit. So for this, all we're going to do is stick our material to it. Like that. Looking at this acetate the other day, and I actually think it has like a shipping material attached to it. I don't know why that is, and it completely screws me. Alright, so once we got this thing on here, we just give it a quick bray. This is a printmaking tool called a brayer. It works out really well. Really just consistent pressure, you know, which you need when you're putting something like this together. Next thing we're going to do is load this guy into the silhouette. All right, so now we got that paper good to go. We saved this guy, right? So we want to go into our silhouette software, and we're going to get rid of this one for our adjusted one. Alright. So this is what we left it with, where we made our marks and stuff. The last couple, right, were around this size. Let's jump her over and take a look. We don't need that anymore. Here's the one we're working on now. We don't need that one anymore either. We just need these two. So we got these two larger stencils here, and we're going to add this one. Select our stencil area. Looks exactly like we want it to look like. So we could try some different stuff. I tried this the other day. It worked out pretty good. Let's see what it does. It's thinking. See, and then it just takes everything out. Undo that though. Undo. Look at that. That'd be cool if we could get that. But that's a little too much too. That looks pretty good. Now we say trace and attach. When the box disappears, you know you're done. Damn it. I wonder why it's not grabbing those pieces. Let's try this. This time we want to try just trace. same. Huh. I think we need to do this. Let's jump back over here to Photoshop. Huh. Doesn't seem like we have anything in his eyes or nose here. I think I screwed that up. Let's try to think of this one as 3. Yep, that doesn't work. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty good. Same thing with this one though, we want to get up in here and see if there's just any foolish detail that is just going to slow the cutter down. For example, these pieces there. Those. That. Some of the little stuff is important, but some of the little stuff is foolish. Just too much, Looks pretty good, nothing crazy small. Mostly everything is pretty well separated. So you hit that key, that brings us back out here. Grab this guy. Grab all of these. Command G for group. Command X for cut. Command V for paste. Interesting that these two are so different. I'm gonna have to look at this one though. Yeah, see there's crazy extraneous detail in here. Tiny dots and stuff. So we're gonna have to pull some of this out. Like I said, it just slows the machine down. Not to mention being very nearly impossible to pick. Picking is the process of taking the trimmed vinyl, or in this case acetate, out of the machine. Once we get it out, we're going to be left with our same piece of acetate now cut into our shape. So that means we got to go through and pick all the pieces that we decided we didn't want and take off everything else. Now, one of the brilliant pieces of the design in the silhouette is that the mat is sticky, because with the mat being sticky, some, I emphasize some, of the pieces stay. They stay on the mat, and so that's huge because those are a few that you don't have to cut out. A lot of these lines are crazy, but they're not lines that the cutter can't do. Just don't want, same thing, I'm just not super interested in picking all of this really small information. Alright. less stuff. Right. This one's cool because it's so much different than the other one. All right. Let's zoom back out. And we got our 3 on here. Do we have another one? Oh yeah, we have Reagan. Don't have to save that. Don't have to save that. Want to switch from that one. Don't have to save that one. What else we got? There's our friend Reagan. Where's that guy? Didn't we edit that already? Apparently we did, but I didn't save it or something. Oh, maybe we did it in Photoshop. There we go. Reagan. Oh, want to do that again. Command Shift S. Pretty sure I spelled that wrong. Okay. Oh, I'm an artist, dude, so spelling isn't what I do, you know? Don't be ridiculous. We don't need that one, since that's the one. Actually, we'll say cancel, grab this, delete, open, Command O. That one. I want to take a look at the size on that. It's roughly the same. Let's just call it 5. Alright. Let's do our trace. That looks pretty good. What do we get if we... Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible too. I think somewhere in the 40s looks good. It's like everything, well, starts to get really messed up between these two numbers. Whoa, that's weird. just like to see what happens sometimes. Been messing around with some of these other trace options, and sometimes it's worked out, sometimes not. Right? This seems to be a problem where it continually leaves pieces. Although this thing here looks awesome. So this time we need to. Oops. Doesn't look like we went back far enough. Yeah, why is it doing that? Alright, we gotta go way back. Same thing, jump in here and look at this for a sec, see if there's anything really tiny that we don't need. This one's actually like mostly big enough stuff to justify keeping it. Okay, so we just back out again, select it, cut it, oops, undo. Alright. Damn it. There we go. Have to make Reagan just a little bit smaller. Over here. Small, it's like really small. We got 1, 2, 3.5 inches across. That's not good. Maybe we'll try this. This one over here. Alright, so there we got some classic movie monster kind of action. Why don't we get in here and do, oops, not that one. Let's get in here and see if there's a Dracula one we could do, which might be more fitting than Reagan. Let's see if anybody's made a good stencil yet. Oh yeah, some great ones. And some terrible ones. He's such a brilliant Dracula. He's like, mostly silly stuff. Look at this, there's a Frankenstein stencil in the Dracula stencil section. This one looks awesome. Looks like it's like on a record or something. Let's see what we can do with this. What I'm using is screen caps, which work out really, really well. Alright, so now we can use our magic wand tool again. Deselect, that was a little bit too much. So this time we're going to use our lasso tool. And you just basically trace what you're working on. Now the hard part of tracing with a trackpad is I'm not great at making straight lines or even reasonably straight lines. Especially as you get to the end of what your fingers can reach. There we go. That looks pretty good. Need his nose, I think. Alright, we'll just say cut, new, enter, paste. Alright, so now we got a pretty cool Dracula thing. Oops. Just get rid of the rest of that stuff. Give him his normal haircut. Go. Alright. This looks very, very easy. Gonna do the same thing with this one. Already dropped down our color choices here. Do our posterize again. So now it's even dropped them down again. I'm gonna go with 3, I think. So we can get that gray. Oh, that gray is pretty spotty. Oh, my kids screaming is frustrating, I'll tell you. See what we can get that smooths out our stuff as much as possible. I also don't want to have the stencil have too many layers because then we'll have to cut it multiple times. But we're losing a lot of detail if we go down to 2. I feel like we get all that spots between 2 and 3. I was hoping I could get away with it. Alright, let's say okay. Command Shift V, and that's paste in place. And see, look at that, and say like, I don't know about that. The cutter might have a hard time with that. Then we just grab all of our black. Alright, so it looks like we have, whoop, that's why. Deselect, we need to go back here. Alright. Now we cut that. Undo because we missed inside of his ear. There we go. That looks really good. Alright. So now we cut that. Command Shift Paste. Command Shift V. Oh. You can also go to Edit, paste special, paste in place. And then we just see that we've taken the gray out, black out, and we're just left with this. So we're going to turn this and this back on, and we're going to try to select just the white that we're using. So yeah. Right. Actually, let's try this. Deselect, Command D, turn this one off. Got our black there, turn this one off. What do we get with this gray and the black and the white of the paper? That looks pretty good. And here on this black, we're going to jump in real close, and we're going to go into this weird speckle area with a paintbrush and just fill this in. For some reason my opacity is down. Just fill all this in black so that we don't have any of these bumps to deal with. But this is all just consistent black. Because then that'll be nice and clean when we go to cut. It's not going to try to cut, a million tiny pieces. All right. Pretty good. Oops. All right. Almost there. Alright, so now we want to go into our gray. Same thing. Just want to clean out through here. So we don't want to make sure that we don't make it stupid. Nope. Pretty good. All right. Looks like there's a couple pieces of gray that we missed. Oh. Let's say cut. Up here, Command Shift V. So now we should be able to do that. Oh, I see. right, so now we got a nice clean stencil. We got our gray. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. All right, so now we got our gray layer. Pretty straightforward and simple. Just look and see that there's anything. Oh, anything that the whoops. That'll create islands. You know, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about that. Islands and bridges. You know, this piece here would be a long bridge. And unfortunately, if you look at it, it will cut this entire piece and that entire piece out. So we have to make a break in it. Same with here, gotta make a break in it. These little, you know, spots here, it'll drop out those middle pieces. It just depends on if we feel like we need those. Same here. Okay. Now we just take a look and see if it still looks okay. No, I actually feel like it doesn't really look okay right there. You know what I really want? Be behind there. So then we can make some gray dots and not worry about it. Alright. Alright, so now that we're all set with this, Command Shift S. Actually not going to do that just yet. We're going to turn off our gray with the magic wand tool. Oh. I think the artwork was being done for on a record, so that was the whole for the record. All right, so the first thing we want to do is one layer open, Command Shift S. And we'll just put it in the Frankenstein folder. And then we turn that one off. We turn this one on. And we say Command Shift S. And we call it Dracula. Hi, buddy.
Miss, I'm running up the steps.
What?
With you.
Love you too. Say hi, Mac. I'm going to say hi to Mac. Alright, almost done.
What are you doing?
Making a bunch of stencils. Gonna see if we can. We're not gonna be able to fit both of our Frankensteins on there. I mean, both of our Draculas on there. But maybe we could fit one.
Oh, like the Dracula?
Yeah.
It's the guy with the mask.
Which guy?
Yeah, wait, you can't see it right now. The guy.
This guy?
Yeah.
That's just Frankenstein. He's just, that's the stencil of him. What's up with you? Hear a lot of screaming down there. What's going on with that?
Oh. Why does he call himself Plastic Man instead of Rubber Man?
I don't know.
Plastic
We have to
isn't
ask him.
that stretchy. He's plastic on the head, and that's not that stretchy.
When Plastic Man first came out, plastic was super new, and nobody knew what plastic could do. It was like the miracle material.
So it was rubbery?
It was all different stuff, actually. Somewhat rubbery.
I got a big fist. And I got a hammer. I gotta do some construction work. Gotta use my big fist. Ow, that hurt my hand. Key is this for?
Anderson's Hardware.
Let's, you know, I don't think we're going to be able to fit this Dracula stencil in there, so we'll put that guy on the next. Oops. Cancel. Put that guy on the next one. All right. Now we'll try this one. You can actually use these tools here. See this one? It's like we did alright aligning it apparently.
This one says Anderson's Hardware.
Aubuchon, yeah. That's who made the key. Doesn't help us with what the key's for though.
It looks like the front door key.
Aubuchon Hardware is the one down the street. Alright, you guys. Oh man.
Have you not been recording the whole time?
No, I was recording. So now that we got our material stuck down here and ready to go, we're going to throw it over into the silhouette and see how it goes. There's a lot of cutting here, so it might take a few minutes. Alright, so let's throw it in there. Ciao, buddy. Talk to Mac while I'm doing this.
Hi.
That's it? Just hi? That's all you got?
Yeah, not more.
Thanks for covering for me, Mac. That was completely lame, actually.
There's two pandas.
Alright, so now that we got...
Dinosaur's friend.
Now we got all this stuff ready to go. We click over here and descend and see what the silhouette thinks it's going to cut. Oh, I think it's going to have a hard time with this part of Frank's face there. Oh yeah, there's just too much going on here.
You've never used a zombie.
Used him for what?
I said you've never used a zombie.
I know, but use him for what? He's just something I got to look at.
I don't know actually. This guy is punching the weird guy there. The yellow thing. The green thing. This green monster here. I'm the real
Alright,
monster.
you guys, now we back out. See what silhouette thinks this time. Looks pretty good. See if it's going to work out. One of the things I wanted to do that I did not do is you can use this shape tool to make squares around each of our stencils, which helps when it comes time to use them individually.
My face looks pretty nice.
Alright. And then we'll make another one down here.
Sounds cool.
Oh.
The one above the Frankenstein that looks like a superhero, does not look like Frankenstein at all.
Which one?
The one above the Frankenstein looks like it has a mask.
To be surprised though, it really looked a lot like Frankenstein when it was done. Like, look at.
No, not the mask one, the one above it.
Well, we'll see what happens, right? Alright, what else do we have here that I was trying to fix? I was trying to put these back
Nothing
in.
printed yet.
Not yet.
It says beware the beard. You better beware the beard. This is probably my favorite beard thing you did.
Oh yeah?
It was firing that saying, beware the beard. And it looks like you. If you were 10 times scarier.
Oh,
Where did my hand go? Turned
that
into
is not gonna work.
my hammer.
Let's see what happens this time.
That was my hand, but huge. I'm gonna jump to the moon. I'm gonna go to the moon.
that is going to take a few minutes. So I think what we're going to do at this point, since we've only gone about an hour and a half, but I'm pretty much out of time. So we're going to leave this guy to run, and once it's all done, tomorrow we'll get together again and spray this out and see what kind of monsters we got. I am going to continue working to see if I can get Dracula into silhouette and ready to go. So this one keeps cutting, but you can go and design still if you want to.
Honey, I
So
can
that's
see
what I'm gonna do.
you. I can even see the computer.
What
I can
Don't
see
touch
you.
that.
I'm not touching it. I'm just
That's
gonna,
my mixer.
I'm looking at you. Hello over there.
I'm the other one too, right? Yeah, like I'm up in here.
I know. I'll get my throwing up.
So the Dracula one that we brought in, that's our blacks. And then when you open, Dracula grays.
Down there. I'm pointing right at you. It looks. The second one looks weird on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of looks like an incomplete of the other one.
That guy out of the way. These guys roughly the same size. Our friend Tracy.
Love you, Daddy.
Love you too, buddy.
Bye.
Let's try that again, see if we can bring up our de-speckle a little. Definitely has some speckle. Really not even sure what de-speckle is supposed to do. Oh, I see. So can't use that. Just use. The same thing, go in and see what we can get rid of for small extraneous detail. This one's not too bad. There's not a ton of unconnected stuff. Just a little bit. Alright. Now we can close that up. Back a little. So the next one I'm going to do is going to be this Dracula. It's a two-piece, no big deal. Shouldn't be a big deal. But we're going to have to see. So anyway, like I said, we're pretty much out of time, so I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I will be back tomorrow on Facebook. the same spot that we've been on Facebook, which is the greenhouse graphics page. All right, so if you guys are interested in seeing what happens next, come on